June 6, 1944. D-Day, Utah Beach, Normandy. The first wave of landing craft hits the beach at 0630 hours. German machine guns open fire immediately. Artillery shells explode in the surf. Men fall. Walking calmly through the chaos, leaning on a cane, is a 56-year-old brigadier general. Teddy Roosevelt Jr., son of President Theodore Roosevelt, oldest man in the first wave, only general officer to land with the first assault troops. He's not supposed to be here. His superiors tried to stop him. Too old, too sick, heart condition, arthritis so bad he needs a cane to walk. But Roosevelt insisted, "I'll start the invasion with my men. In the next few hours, he'll make decisions that save thousands of lives. He'll earn the Medal of Honor, and he'll prove that courage has no age limit." This is the story of the bravest Roosevelt. September 13th, 1887. Oyster Bay, New York. Theodore Roosevelt Jr. is born. First son of Theodore Roosevelt, future President of the United States. Being the son of Teddy Roosevelt is both a blessing and a burden. A blessing because of the name, the doors it opens, the opportunities. A burden because of the expectations. How do you live up to a father who was a Rough Rider? Who charged up San Juan Hill? Who became president? Young Ted grows up in the shadow of a giant. His father pushes him hard. The strenuous life, the elder Roosevelt calls it, physical fitness, outdoor activities, hunting, boxing. Ted is not naturally athletic like his father. He's nearsighted, needs thick glasses, but he tries, always tries to prove himself. 1909. Ted graduates from Harvard. His father is president. The pressure is enormous. Ted goes into business, investment banking, does well. But when World War I begins in Europe, something stirs in him. April 1917. The United States enters World War I. Ted Roosevelt Jr. is 29 years old, married, 3 children, successful career. He could stay home. War production, essential industry. But that's not the Roosevelt way. Ted enlists, goes to officer training, gets commissioned as a major. His father, the former president, writes him a letter. "I am prouder of you than I can say. You are doing the right thing." November 1917, Major Roosevelt ships out to France. 26th Infantry Regiment, 1st Infantry Division, the big red one. Ted sees heavy combat, Cantigny, Soissons, the Meuse-Argonne offensive. He's wounded twice, gassed once, keeps fighting. He earns the Distinguished Service Cross, the Silver Star, French Croix de Guerre. His men love him. He shares their hardships, sleeps in the mud with them, eats the same rations, never asks them to do anything he won't do. November 11th, 1918. Armistice. The war ends. Colonel Roosevelt returns home a hero, following in his father's footsteps. But his father doesn't live to see him come home. Theodore Roosevelt Sr. dies January 6, 1919, age 60. Ted is devastated. He never got to hear his father say he was proud, never got that final approval. The 1920s and 1930s. Ted Roosevelt Jr. tries politics, runs for governor of New York, loses, serves as Assistant Secretary of the Navy, his father's old job, then Governor General of the Philippines, then Governor of Puerto Rico. He's successful, but restless. The Roosevelt name opens doors, but it also creates expectations he can never quite meet. Then in the late 1930s, war clouds gather again. September 1939. Germany invades Poland. World War II begins. Roosevelt is 52 years old, too old for military service by regulation, but he starts lobbying, writes letters, calls in favors. "I need to be in this war." April 1941. 8 months before Pearl Harbor. Roosevelt is recommissioned as a colonel, assigned to the 26th Infantry Regiment, his old unit from World War I. His wife, Eleanor Butler Roosevelt, supports him. She knows he needs this. Pearl Harbor happens. America enters the war. Roosevelt, now 54, deploys to North Africa. Operation Torch, November 1942. He's promoted to Brigadier General, Assistant Division Commander, of the 1st Infantry Division, the Big Red One, going to war again, North Africa, 1942 to 1943. Roosevelt is the oldest general in combat. He's also one of the most beloved. He walks the front lines, visits every unit, knows his men by name. He carries a pistol from World War I, wears a knit cap instead of a helmet, walks with a cane because of arthritis. His men call him Ted, not General, just Ted. He's in the thick of every fight. Tunisia, Sicily, the Italian campaign. By 1944, Roosevelt has been in combat for nearly 2 years. He's 56 years old. His heart is failing. The doctors know it. He knows it, but he's not done yet. Spring 1944. England. The 4th Infantry Division is preparing for the invasion of France. D-Day. Roosevelt is assigned as Assistant Division Commander. When he learns the 4th will land in the first wave at Utah Beach, he makes a decision. He writes a letter to the division commander, Major General Raymond Barton. The men need to see a general officer on the beach. I'll go in with the first wave. Barton refuses. You're too old, you're sick, I can't allow it. Roosevelt persists. He writes a formal request. I request permission to accompany the assault companies to the beach. My presence will steady the men. They know me, they trust me. I'm the only general officer who's been in combat with them in North Africa and Sicily. Still denied. Roosevelt tries again, and again. Finally he writes, I'm doing this for my men, but I'm also doing it for myself. I have 2 sons landing on other beaches tomorrow. I can't ask them to do what I won't do. His sons, Quentin Roosevelt, landing at Omaha Beach, and Kermit Roosevelt Jr., landing at Utah Beach, different sector. The request goes up the chain. General Omar Bradley reads it, shakes his head. He's going to get himself killed. But Bradley approves it. Roosevelt will land with the first wave, the oldest man in the invasion, the only general officer in the assault. June 5, 1944, the night before D-Day. Roosevelt writes a final letter to his wife. Eleanor, we are off. I've been given the chance to go in with my men. I suspect we'll have a tough go of it, but I wouldn't have it any other way. Whatever happens, know that I love you, and I've done my duty. He seals the letter, hands it to an aide. If I don't come back, then he joins his men. The 4th Infantry Division boards the landing craft. Roosevelt is in one of the first boats. The channel crossing is rough. Men are seasick, scared. Roosevelt walks among them, calm, joking. Don't worry, boys, we'll be on the beach soon. Then you'll have something real to worry about. The men laugh. Their fear eases. If the old man isn't scared, they can be brave too. June 6, 1944, 0630 hours, Utah Beach. The landing craft hits the sand. The ramp drops. Roosevelt is the first off, leaning on his cane, pistol in his other hand. German bullets kick up sand around him. Artillery shells explode. Roosevelt doesn't run. He walks, calmly, surveying the beach. His aide runs up. General, we're in the wrong place. The current has pushed them 2,000 yards south of the planned landing zone. Wrong beach, wrong sector. This is a disaster. The entire invasion plan for Utah Beach is based on landing at a specific point. All the follow-up waves are heading to the planned beach, but the first wave is here. Roosevelt looks around, sees the terrain, sees the German defenses. They're actually in a better spot, less fortified, fewer obstacles. He makes a decision, right there, under fire. We'll start the war from right here. He orders his aide to redirect all following waves to this new location. That decision saves thousands of lives. The planned beach was a killing zone. Heavy fortifications. Perfect German fields of fire. This beach where they accidentally landed has lighter defenses. Roosevelt's quick thinking turns a mistake into an advantage. But the battle is just beginning. Roosevelt walks up and down the beach, under constant fire, organizing units, directing traffic, pointing men toward their objectives. Follow me! He leads groups inland personally, past obstacles, through minefields, under machine gun fire. His men later say they've never seen anything like it. A 56-year-old general with a heart condition and arthritis, walking through hell with a cane, completely calm, making jokes. Keep moving! The Navy's going to need this beach for their picnic later. The men follow him. If he can do it, they can do it. Roosevelt spots a group of men pinned down by a German machine gun. He walks toward it. His aide yells, "General, get down!" Roosevelt keeps walking, points his cane at the machine gun position. See that? Somebody needs to take care of that. A squad of infantry moves up, knocks out the position. All morning, Roosevelt is everywhere, directing engineers clearing obstacles, helping medics with wounded, coordinating with naval gunfire. At one point, he's standing in the open, studying a map, shells exploding around him. An officer runs over. "General Roosevelt, you need to take cover." Roosevelt doesn't look up from his map. "I'm fine, but you standing here is making me nervous. You're drawing fire." The officer runs away. Roosevelt goes back to his map. By noon, Utah Beach is secure. The 4th Infantry Division has pushed inland, linked up with paratroopers from the 101st and 82nd Airborne. Casualties are lighter than expected, in large part because of Roosevelt's leadership. His decision to land at the wrong beach saves thousands of lives. His presence steadies the men under fire. His example inspires everyone who sees him. That night, exhausted, Roosevelt writes in his diary, "The beach was chaos, but we made it work. My men were magnificent. I've never been prouder." But Roosevelt's war isn't over. For the next month, he stays in combat, leading from the front. The 4th Infantry Division pushes across Normandy. Roosevelt is there for all of it, sleeping in foxholes, eating sea rations, walking miles every day despite his arthritis. His staff begs him to slow down. His heart is getting worse. He's exhausted. He refuses. "My men are out there. I need to be with them." July 11th, 1944. Normandy. Roosevelt has just been recommended for promotion to Major General, finally getting his own division command. He's also been recommended for the Medal of Honor for his actions on Utah Beach. That night, he goes to bed in his tent, exhausted but satisfied. July 12th, 1944. Early morning. An aide enters Roosevelt's tent, finds him dead, heart attack in his sleep. Brigadier General Theodore Roosevelt Jr., age 56, died in his boots, in the field with his men, just as he would have wanted. The news spreads through the division. Men openly weep. They've lost more than a general. They've lost a friend. Roosevelt is buried temporarily in Normandy, in a military cemetery, near where he fell. Later, his body is moved to the American Cemetery at Colleville-sur-Mer, overlooking Omaha Beach. His grave is simple, a white cross like all the others. His younger brother, Quentin Roosevelt, is buried next to him. Quentin was killed in the World War I, flying combat over France. The 2 Roosevelt brothers, both died fighting for their country, both in France, 26 years apart, September 1945. Over a year after his death, Teddy Roosevelt Jr. is posthumously awarded the Medal of Honor. The citation reads, "For gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of his life above and beyond the call of duty." Brigadier General Roosevelt was with the first wave of the forces assaulting the enemy-held beaches. Despite enemy fire, he repeatedly led groups from the beach, over the seawall, and across the causeways to the interior. He thus contributed substantially to the successful establishment of the beachhead in France. It's the only father-son pair to both receive the Medal of Honor. Teddy Roosevelt Sr. received his posthumously in 2001 for San Juan Hill. What makes Teddy Roosevelt Jr.'s story remarkable? He didn't have to be there. At 56, with a failing heart and crippling arthritis, he could have taken a desk job, a training command, a safe position befitting his age and rank. He had already served in one world war, already been wounded multiple times, already earned his decorations. No one would have blamed him for sitting this one out, but that wasn't who he was. He came from a family that believed in service, in duty, in leading from the front. His father charged up San Juan Hill. His brother died flying in World War I. His sons were landing on other beaches in Normandy. How could he ask them to do what he wouldn't do? So he walked onto Utah Beach with a cane, the oldest man in the invasion, the only general in the first wave. And he changed everything. His decision to start the war from right here saved thousands of lives. His calm under fire steadied men who were terrified. His presence proved that courage isn't about being fearless. It's about being scared and doing it anyway. He died doing his duty, leading his men in the field. That's how a Roosevelt goes out. Today, if you visit the American cemetery at Colville-sur-Mer, you can find his grave. Section F, row 15, grave 28. A simple white cross, like all the others. No special monument, no grand memorial. That's how he would have wanted it. Just another soldier who did his duty and gave everything. Thank you for watching.